the way you've made that a cultural shock, I think is a bit unfair, and I think is a bit ignorant, and also it makes you look quite naive and out of touch. Literally, I just felt like she did us Moroccans so dirty that I just had to make a reaction video. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Sarah De. It's been a while since I've uploaded. We've moved houses and I've had a lot of things going on, so just took some time off YouTube. I just want to say thank you so much for everyone who has supported me and really helping my channel grow. Today, we're going to be reacting to a video on YouTube titled Moroccan Culture Shock, a German girl in Morocco. It was such a funny video to watch, so I just thought, why not react to it? Let's watch the video.
One of the first things I noticed about Moroccan culture that I found a bit strange was like the kind of men-only cafes that exist in Morocco. If you walk through the streets of any Moroccan city, you will see lots and lots of cafes, but then when you look closely, you realize there's only men sitting there. A lot of the time, the men sitting there are kind of an age where you'd think they'd be working. So I was really confused, like, do the people who sit in those cafes, do those men not have jobs? And if they don't have jobs, how can they afford to sit in cafes all day? Do women just want their husbands out of the house and basically drop them off in husband daycare so they can go about their own business all day? I have no idea. If you're from Morocco and you know why this is the case, please let me know in the comments below, because I've got no clue, obviously.
So I'm from Morocco originally. So I just feel like I need to answer these questions. I don't know, I feel like being nice today. I've got my milkshake, I'm in a good mood. So why not just like basically answer her misconceptions that she's gathered about Morocco. So when you say men only cafes, that means in English terms that you are literally saying that women are not allowed to go to that cafe, men only, you know? So yeah, we shouldn't really use these particular terms. So they do exist, that's like a thing in Morocco. That doesn't mean that like women cannot go there, of course they can. I don't know if you've visited a particular area in Morocco. You know, Morocco is just like any other country in the Western world. You definitely see men-only cafes in Morocco, but you also see so many cafes. Young women there with their friends, or like young couple, that's a thing as well. In fact, in Morocco, there's more cafes where you see like, you know, couples together or like friends having coffee than the men-only cafe. So yeah, I just feel like that's a gross generalization. This video like makes me laugh so much.
Is something that Moroccan people wear.
Also, I forgot to mention, actually, I just feel like it's quite disrespectful. It definitely like made me laugh, but it is disrespectful to say like, do Moroccan women just drop their husbands off at like daycare, being the cafes? That's just like, it's a bit naive and it's a bit out of touch, and here's why. So I live in the West, I live in the United Kingdom, and I can tell you there is men's club. There's also like pubs where you literally, in particular villages, small villages in Wales, in England, you will literally only see men there, local men visiting the pub. Again, I feel like what you're describing is more to do with like class rather than what cultural, like what is part of culture, because what is part of culture, that's just like so complex, and we shouldn't be black and white when it comes to these things. So yeah, let's continue on.
Number 2 is something that Moroccan people wear that to a Western person looks like a bathrobe. It's these kind of really long, fluffy dresses, but men wear them as well, and they usually kind of like have a hoodie, so like I'm really confused. So if you're again from Morocco, let me know what these things are and why people wear them in the streets. Because for me, like as a Western person, this is something you only wear in your own home in the morning when you go to the bathroom or when you're having breakfast. So, no clue what that is.
Lie! Can I lie? Can I fucking lie?
She's made me do it. Do you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and say it. I'm just gonna say it. How can you not wear this out when it's this stunning? Ignore the mess, we have literally just moved houses, but yeah, it's just not that deep. Do you know what I mean? We Moroccans like to be comfortable, and if that means we go out with our pajamas, we make sure that we tailor our pajamas. Okay, so she described traditional Moroccan clothing as pajamas. That's fine, that's like her opinion. To be honest, clothing in general is just like such a subjective matter. It is funny in a sense, like the way she's delivered it is like quite naive, and I noticed that like some people in the comments are like, a lot of Moroccan women were disrespected. They were like, you know, it's not a bathrobe, it's jalaba, you know. What is jalaba? Jalaba is traditional Moroccan, North African clothing that a lot of people are proud of. They like to wear it. And she did mention like in the Western world, basically, people don't go out in their pajamas. And that's actually not true. Again, I live in the West, and I can tell you that this was even like debated, I think in This Morning or something, a really popular English show that a lot of people tune in to watch. So I'm gonna actually attach something here for you guys so you can see it. Like people were actually, you know, debating whether it's like ethical, whether it's classy to, you know, drop your kids off wearing your pajamas or going to the shop, you know. And of course, like if you're way more conservative, you're gonna have a problem with it. You're gonna be like, no, you know, this is just not part of class. And if you're not conservative, then you're not gonna have that much of a problem. I feel like it's just like Moroccans are quite relaxed, like they're not serious people. They like to have fun. I mean, those, what you described, those are called jalabas, they're not pajamas. Yeah, let's keep watching this.
Number 3 is, I found out from a local person that apparently foreigners can never get Moroccan citizenship, which I personally find very strange and almost xenophobic, because in all the other countries that I lived in, like it's always possible to get citizenship if you stay there long enough, if you've got a job, you know, if you meet certain criteria, then you can become a citizen. And apparently that is not possible at all in Morocco. Maybe there's a good reason for it, but I'd love to know.
We cannot really like, you know, compare the West to a third world country, but again, in the West, we're generally post-colonial countries. That means, you know, we've colonized, we have more power, resources that we gathered from the places we colonized. And again, Morocco is still a developing country. Like do know that it's not black and white. You can definitely get citizenship in Morocco, but of course, Morocco, like Britain, like anywhere in the world, there's corruption. Basically what that means, if you have money and you know the right people, you can make anything happen for you. That's just a fact. It's just literally a fact.
Number 4, there is no freedom of religion. So again, this is something a local person in Morocco told me, that apparently Islam is the state religion in Morocco. And I know like, I did meet like some Christians in Morocco, but it seems to be the exception, and it might just be reserved for kind of foreigners living in Morocco. I'm not sure about that, but apparently if you are Moroccan, you need to be Muslim.
Okay, so she said, if you are Moroccan, you need to be Muslim. That's not true, of course. Morocco originally was Christian and Jew Berbers, lived basically, or Amazigh people, I don't know, there's many tribes. But so that's not true. You can definitely have a Christian Moroccan, a Jewish Moroccan. You can also have like Shia Muslim in Morocco, Sunni. Like it's definitely diverse in that sense. And I'll deconstruct it further as we go on.
Number 5, teenagers throwing stones. So on more than one occasion, me and my friends witnessed how like a group of kids or teenagers were throwing stones at people. Even like at one point they were like throwing stones at us, and like, I mean, I'm not talking about like, you know, little pieces of gravel. I'm talking like stones, like big proper stones. They were just throwing like off a hill towards people. I'm like, do parents not tell their children that they can't do that sort of stuff? Like, it's really dangerous. I don't understand how, like, this is not, I really don't understand why they do that and why it is so common. Like, it's so dangerous. Please, if you are a kid from Morocco, please stop throwing stones at people.
Again, like it's a bit out of touch, and I've never witnessed that in Tetuan, Tangier. I've never witnessed kids throwing big rocks. I've never ever seen that. Do I believe her? Yes, of course I believe her. But like, again, the way you've made that a cultural shock, I think is a bit unfair, and I think is a bit ignorant, and also it makes you look quite naive and out of touch. Keywords here, out of touch. Just because, I'll tell you why. In Britain, we have what you call chavs. You have them in Germany as well, you know, they're basically type of people that are like, you know, basically young kids, like you described, the youth. They're not, how do I say this? They're not educated properly. The areas they come from are underfunded. But guess what? Elements of this also happen in the West. You just have to educate yourself, which is why I really think you should look into social science, the study of like humans in general and societies, and why certain people have patterns of behavior, why certain areas are not funded as much, you know, all these things link and make up society, you know. Basically, like what I'm trying to say is what she's describing is not exclusive to Morocco. You find this in the West. Studying social science will make you understand why certain areas are underdeveloped, why certain people, elite of every society, basically just hoard all the money, sources, education. It's like, it's literally all linked. So I'm sorry that you saw that in Morocco. It's unfortunate because I feel like it literally is time and place. Again, not exclusive to Morocco, guys. You can literally find this in the West. They're called chavs. I feel like I'm being really like just kind of ignorant by being like chavs. I can't believe I'm going to say this. It's actually like literally so cringe to say. But chav, again, that is on a spectrum, right? There's like chavs that you could say I'm friends with because it's just like, I don't judge people who come from certain areas, who talk a certain way. I don't do that. I judge people based on like their character. And like, you know, again, just because I'm saying someone is a chav doesn't mean I'm saying they throw rocks. Do you get it? It's on the spectrum, darling. I've never seen that in Morocco. It's not common. Girl. Anyway, let's continue.
Number 6, burgers and pizza are probably the most common and cheapest food in Morocco. When you think of Morocco, you think of the exotic cuisine and all these, you know, different dishes and tangine and couscous and whatnot. But then when you see what the local people eat there, like a lot of the time, they just love pizza and burgers, and you can get that everywhere and it's cheap. And I mean, it's not bad. We have some good Moroccan pizza, but I was just really surprised to see that. It just seems to be so much more popular than traditional Moroccan food for whatever reason.
Okay, I'm just gonna say one thing. It's not that deep. It's not that deep, girl. Like, what's her name? Dancia Kristen. It's actually not that deep. Do you know what I mean? Like burgers or eating chips or whatever. Like, I know, for example, in Morocco, loads of like, you know, young children, they don't want, you know, lentils, Moroccan food, tagine, because they have that at home anyway. Traditionally in Morocco, every Friday, people make couscous, so they have that anyway. So it's kind of like, and that's not true. Again, she said, all you see is burgers, chips. Where did you stay? Chips, burgers, although I've got to say, I don't know what it is, but Moroccan burger it's lit. Imagine like a cheeseburger. So you put cheese and the beef burger and they fry the egg and put it in the bun. Oh, it's just so delicious. Again, I think what you'll find is capitalism, economy wants to, you know, provide for the market. And the market is that young people love burgers and chips because just the way they are. Young Moroccans love that kind of food and they can always eat that food at home. But there is definitely restaurants where you can find Moroccan traditional food. So I don't know where you stayed, girl. You know, like just it would be nice to just know people in Morocco so they can kind of show you. They can be like your tour guide. But I know that you probably don't know anyone in Morocco. So let's continue watching.
Number 7, restaurants in people's living rooms. In Morocco, a lot of hotels and restaurants are in so-called riads. Now, a riad is a traditional Moroccan home with kind of like a beautiful courtyard a lot of the times, and they're really, really stunning buildings. And so a lot of restaurants are in these riads. But the thing with that is that it kind of feels a bit like you're in somebody's living room and somebody's just put a restaurant there. It feels really nice and intimate, and I just love it. It's usually like beautiful rooms, and
Let's just continue watching.
Mocktails. So for those of you who don't know what a mocktail is mocking a cocktail, meaning it's a cocktail without alcohol. Now, as some of you might know, I don't drink alcohol. So in Morocco, where drinking alcohol apparently is not very common, I guess because of Islam, in all those restaurants, you get a huge menu with mocktails. And I mean, I was like, oh my gosh, that's the best. You are my people. Number 9, fathers seem to have really weird relationships with their kids. I've witnessed several times that when like a family, for example, was traveling together or together at a restaurant, like it was always the mother that dealt with the kids. So even if like the mother was sitting here, the father sitting here, and there's the kid, the mother would just kind of like bend, you know, across the father to kind of feed the kid or, you know, do whatever she needed to do. And like the father wouldn't touch the kid. And then also you'd never see like kids like on like a bumpy bus ride holding to their fathers. And I'm like, that's just really strange. Maybe it is Moroccan culture where like all the parenting is on the woman, but I mean it's still a good idea for fathers to get involved. So I guess it's just another cultural thing, like you really don't get it as a Western person.
Okay, so Moroccan men have a strange relationship with their children. Again, I think you'll find this like women taking more responsibility. I think you'll find this phenomena, whatever you want to call it. I think you'll find it in the West as well. Look into it. Look into stories about absent fathers and so forth. The way that society is structured is that men still occupy, you know, the highest paid jobs in Morocco. Again, I'm just going to say it one more time. Studying social science has really opened my eyes to these topics. So it's not so black and white like you've just outlined here. I've definitely seen, especially amongst younger Moroccans, I've definitely seen like younger Moroccan men with like pram and strollers and looking after their kids. It's a thing you see. Again, you can't really make this generalization unless you've stayed in Morocco for at least like a year and you were able to converse with people, you were really able to, you know what their ideas are.
Tea. Now, Moroccans, they really love their tea. And something they do is like they have like this mint tea. So you have like a tall glass, and then you've got like the mint in there, and then they put the tea in it, and then there is so much sugar. And I'm not somebody who likes strong tea, but with Moroccan tea there's so much sugar in it that I actually like it. But a lot of foreigners, they always ask for less sugar in their tea in Morocco. So like they ended up starting to ask like my friend and I, like, do you want a Moroccan sugar or less sugar? And I was like, no, I'll take Moroccan sugar because like I love lots of sugar, so it's good for me.
I mean, yeah, that's true. Moroccan mint tea, definitely, like some people put like literally, you know, the large tablespoon. They'll put like 2 tablespoons of white sugar in like the Moroccan tea, which is a lot of sugar.
You know, in the comments.
But it's not healthy, duh.
You've been to Morocco and what cultural differences you have noticed, or if you are Moroccan, because I know a lot of viewers on this channel are actually from Morocco, please let me know like some of these differences, like because I had some questions. Let me know in the comments what you think. And
okay, that's it. That is the video done. So guys, I really hope you enjoyed this reaction. I've been wanting to do this for so long because it's just the kind of video that made me laugh, and I just wanted to address the misconceptions. I don't think just like a little disclaimer, Dancia Kristen, I don't think she has bad intentions. I just feel like the way she delivered this video is just like kind of like you give a bad name to a lot of Moroccans, and it's just not that black and white. That's it. Literally, I just felt like she did us Moroccans so dirty that I just had to make a reaction video. But yeah, I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.